this would be like, this software would be something very useful, but not only in terms of ROI, but also for things like SEO, for example, where you try a lot of things and it's a very slow, like, as SEO experiments are very like slow going. So you might know about things in a matter of 2 3 months, half a year, a year. I think software like you do would be something you can use in a lot of branches, not only in marketing overall, but like say in SEO or other things. Anyway,
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, continue.
That's true. That's true. I want to just elaborate a little bit on this topic. The goal is, even if you are doing search engine optimization, the goal of software is to align your campaign with the business results. So you don't just think in terms of backlinks or Google positions, because honestly, and maybe I might be hated by some search engine optimization guides, but honestly, business owners don't care about business, like, search ranking positions or traffic. They take care about sales qualified leads and revenue. And that's why you need to align it with the funnel. So you can say, okay, guys, right now we are working on backlinks. So our goal is to collect 50 backlinks from from domains with like authority higher than, let's say, 60. And it will help us to get promoted to, let's say, to the first page of Google. And it will bring us, right now, for these keywords, we generate 1,000 unique visitors per month. And our conversion rate from visitors to, let's say, sales qualified leads is, let's pretend 1%. So we get 10 sales qualified leads. While once we'll generate 50 backlinks, we'll be getting, 2,000 unique visitors per month for these keywords, and we'll double our sales qualified rate, our sales qualified leads, and your deal closure rate or your activation rate. So from 10 sales qualified leads, you close 2. So the same, you double it here, multiple it by your average deal value or by lifetime value of your customers. And here's like the goal of the campaign. So you are paying us, because sometimes search engine optimization agencies, they can't, clarify the tangible impact on revenue. They just say, okay, we can make more backlinks or get higher rankings for you, but nobody cares about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
so
the truth.
if you can, and then you have some ROI based on how efficient was the agency with their right. So you have the internal part where you have the conversion from, let's say, an MQL SQL right to a customer, and then you have the external part, which is the SEO agency. So they bring traffic, but you always need to tie it to the end goal, right? By the way, one lesson that I learned from a Fred, it's another sales guy I have videos with. He told me, like, you as a marketer, you always have to think, how can you bring more leads tomorrow? Because we as marketers, we tend to think in terms of like month, like years, I don't know, like very long. But for a sales guy, it's really important to say, what's in my pocket tomorrow? What am I going to eat in tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, or today? So it's really important to always tie these metrics so you are always aligned.
I will even make a step forward. I will say that you don't need only to think how to get more leads tomorrow. I would like to say you need to think, how can I scale my revenue tomorrow? What experiments will help me to scale revenue? Because leads, they are just contacts. That's all.
Prospects.
That's all. So that's why I see nowadays, lots of marketers are so obsessed of leads, and there is also another problem, honestly, which I am noticing, and it will be also unpopular opinion. Lots of companies, especially marketing teams, they get pressure from stakeholders. So stakeholders, especially those guys that don't have marketing background, they deprioritize marketing, and they tend to think that
Andrei,
marketing is, just it's like a great value.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Marketing is a great value.
So yeah, so they deprioritize it, and then they set up a goal, generating in order to hit this MQL's quota. They start to get everything, they start to publish, they start to prioritizing quality of the content they are publishing, they start doing more, they start focusing on quantity, and they send these email addresses to sales team. And obviously sales team says, so like it's like poor quality leads. They have no interest in our product. They just put some random email, like we are calling them, we just annoying them. And it's always a pressure. Here's like another side of coin. The problem is that lots of marketers can't marketing or search engine optimization with business goals. They can't build this funnel, and demonstrate the impact of these top of the funnel activities on revenue. So that's why it's extremely important, to start shift revenue-driven team. As I recently, wrote a post, like my observations that in future we won't have departments, marketing, sales, client success. The same like in football, midfielders and forwards. Who is more important on the field? Can you say that forwards are more important than goalkeepers or than defenders? No. They have own goals. They have own tasks. And the same with revenue-driven teams. It's no more like sales are closing and just guys that spent on this budget. No more. But these teams should start working on the full funnel, but just divide the roles between themselves. So that's
exactly what I've heard from. I was on a podcast with this guy Yagneshwaran, and he's published this book called Revenue Marketing, where he basically says the same thing. I guess you know him, Andrei, or you read the book. Where he says the same thing, that revenue, it's the department of revenue. Let's call you can say head of revenue, and that's someone who's a sales together with a sales and marketing guy, and then together kind of reconnects everything together. So you can't say that this is like you guys. It's basically it's gonna be like I beat my own hand if I will provide bad leads to sales, or if as a sales guy I'm not going to be able to close the leads because I cannot sell well, right? I cannot do a product demo well.
Yes.
Okay, so I was wondering, so in when you created the feature set for a product for ROI Planner, how did you prioritize what's the best way to prioritize the feature, and what are the guiding principles when you do that?
Do you mean how to prioritize feature development for the software?
Yes, for the software. Yeah, whom do you listen to when you create the features, and how do you see this process? Yeah.
Okay. So my process is very simple. I come up with initial idea of the product, and before building the first line of code, I brainstorm the product. I start creating ideal customer profile. Even if I don't have customers data right now, I brainstorm what verticals might be more fruitful for our plan, where I can get where can I deliver more value for everybody. Then I start thinking about ideal potential users. Next step, what I recommend to do everybody before building a new product, build an audience for this product. So in my case, I have multiple assets. I have a community, I have newsletter, I have partners who can help me to validate the product idea. So my suggestion is to, even if you don't have time to build a community, become an active member of some great existing communities. So lots of people will be aware of you, and you can easily help. You can easily reach them out and ask for the help. So that's what I did. You need to validate the product idea. I created a presentation. I created slides. So I collected the feedback. I asked about challenges. I asked about the goals. I asked about the needs. Next step is building beta and running the beta tests with users. So you provide a very simple version of your software, which won't cost you too much. It's just you can create it on a very tight budget, and you just start playing with it. You collect the first initial feedback, and then you what I do. I try to measure the willingness to pay. I ask 2 questions like, guys, from what I have described you right now, what is what price would be the no-brainer for you, and what price will make you to think twice? So I collect this feedback from the users. Next, once I get from them a feedback, for example, for me, like a price that will make me think twice about the software is let's say 50 euros per user, just some random price. Then I ask a follow-up question. What should be the value of the product, and what features should this product have, so 50 euros will become a no-brainer for you at all? And I collect list of ideas. Next, what I do, I suggest to run at least 50 calls. So at 50, I know it takes time, but that's the only way to collect the real-time data from different verticals, from different sizes of companies, and you'll see that they all have different needs and challenges and goals, and that's how they will differently use your product, your software.
Andrei, so you would make 50 demos basically with the product and ask them these 2 questions, right?
But I besides this, I demonstrate the beta version of the product, and I ask about also what you forgot to mention. I ask about challenges, goals, and needs, and how they think they might be using this software. So I'm collecting this data. Next step, after 50 calls, I create a simple survey, and I just make a list of features they mentioned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I send this survey to all of the people and that were on demo calls with me, and I ask to prioritize each of these features. So I ask a question, please mark for, and I don't ask just score it with from 1 to 5. I deliberately I name it differently. I ask them to evaluate it from non-essential to crucial, so it becomes more relevant to people. And then they start, lots of them, in my case, if you had them on demo calls, it's much more easier to ask them for quick time feedback, just to answer to your questions in your survey. And all what is needed from their side is just, to click in the survey and evaluate each of the features. And now you have a clear overview of the order of feature development, because your potential customers that would like to buy your product, they provided you a feedback, what is crucial for them and what is non-essential. And once you can create with, you can choose 1 to 3 features depending on your budget, or depending on the feedback during the demo calls, beta demo calls. You can choose from 1 to 3 features, maybe more. I don't know, it's just up to your situation. Develop them, and it would be your MVP. And next step is validating MVP with a larger audience, but you need to run these demo calls, you need to invest your time, you need to talk to your customers, and that's only the way to create a product that will be tailored to particular audience and will meet